I'm back and feeling much better. And since Natasha has had to, kind of carry the podcast while I've been sick, she's taking a well deserved break. And I have a very special guest to introduce you to. Hi, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Clayton.
And I want to call this segment Strange Siblings because I call Clayton my parents' favorite child.
They do get really excited when I visit.
When we were visiting last time, Doug, my stepfather, ignored me and went, "Oh my God, is that Clayton?" It's
Oh
like,
yeah, he said he pushed you out of the way.
you walked me down the aisle, sir.
uh,
So, like I said, we're going to give Natasha a break. um, but we're going to do something fun today, which is creepypastas. Again, to introduce Clayton a little bit first, Clayton and I have been friends since we were about 12, and he's tolerated me for most of those years.
Slightly more than tolerated. I like you.
He actually came to visit in Maryland, so he drove like 6 hours to visit me the day that I got the stomach bug that prevented me from recording last week. So he was sitting by my bed like a sickly Victorian child while I threw up.
It was
It's
still
so
fun. I'm glad it went down.
no, you really held down the fort. I was like, I can't even walk downstairs to take care of the dogs. And he spent every Christmas Eve, Mom's birthday with us, and he is basically a sibling at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm in the family at this point. I might be in the will. Who knows?
Honestly, he might be in the will more than me. They'll probably be like, Clayton, you're in charge of making sure she doesn't be irresponsible with these things.
Little do they know, I enable irresponsibility.
He was also actually the plus one to Natasha's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Lance was my plus two. I before Lance and I were dating seriously, I already promised Clayton that he would come. He came to my sister's engagement party, her wedding. He was there when Lance proposed to me. Lance had to ask Clayton for permission before he proposed to me. And he was the man of honor at my wedding, and he was here while I was puking on our second wedding anniversary. So he's definitely family.
So I'm glad to be in it.
We love you very much.
I've always wanted a second sister.
I get why your first sister's your favorite. She's a lot less high maintenance.
I don't play favorites, just, chronologically.
So that is why we're calling it Strange Siblings. And without further ado, it is spooky season. We are officially in spooky season. So we're going to do some good old-fashioned creepy pastas.
Can't wait for the spooky sketty.
I actually have a fall-shaped pasta. You'll have to think this is. So I'm going to start this off talking about a creepy pasta called the Rake. Similar to Slenderman, I had to go into the depths of the internet that I would prefer not to have on my hard drive or search history. And I'm convinced that some of these websites have given me more viruses than LimeWire in 2010. But here we are. Well, hopefully here we are, and my computer hasn't completely died from the early 2000s cringe. It didn't. We're here.
Yeah. And at this point, you have actually had sexual relations with that woman, though, so.
That was the first thing I thought of when I typed the word LimeWire. That was Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
I want to know who on LimeWire was like, this will be really funny.
Yeah. And
knew that they were right while they were making our computers crash.
Like, let me disguise this under every single song name.
We lived in a wild time.
Yeah.
I believe in Slenderman, I called the early to mid 2000s internet a lawless wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
It was. We had MySpace where you would let your friends fucking know because it was you would rank them what by
Top fame.
5. Like, don't piss me off. Like you're going down.
But honestly, I appreciate that you knew where you were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very direct.
We also all could code at that time.
I could not. I was really bad at it. What was your autoplay song? Because you had to have that.
Oh, I had a lot. One was it was like some email adjacent, like I resonate with this, and then of course it was just email. It was like she
Um,
drinks coffee at midnight and she knows that it's not right.
was that the one guy that the glitter ball guy?
No, oh my god. I can't believe I messaged him on Twitter trying to get him to give me a copy of it.
Like I won't distribute it, I swear. Right, like my autoplay song was Right Round, right when Kesha came out. Because
And
it
you
really
have
did
the
my
audacity to
life
judge
heavily.
me.
What?
You have the audacity to judge me. Okay, let me get back to the rake so Natasha doesn't have
Yeah, yeah.
so much work. So the rake predates Slenderman by around 4 years, which is crazy because Slenderman is like so famous.
Yeah. Wow,
Uh,
way to use a head start.
it was published anonymously in 2005, where Slenderman came out in 2009. The rake was originally posted on 4chan, which is a really wild thing to say in this day and age now.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
Lawless
know
Wave.
do you know what 4chan was before it was, what it is now?
No, I just remember that you used to be able to like download fake coupons for free monsters at Target and it would work.
You know what? That makes sense. I don't want to dig anymore.
But yeah, what was it?
I thought it might have been like Reddit, and now it's like Reddit for incels.
I think it was always Reddit for incels, but Reddit is also Reddit for incels.
This story is also similar to Slenderman in the way that it was created as a base theme, and the people around it, the fans, everybody, created their own lore for it. They all made their own story for it.
I kind of like that.
It's very interesting. It's like crowdsourcing lore.
Yeah, yeah, it's a like a community collaboration.
Yeah, just on a scary part of the internet. So, similar to how I explained it in the Slenderman video, and yes, I'm going to keep pushing the Slenderman video because we need views. uh, there are a lot of common themes within everybody else's stories. So, in the original story, the rake is described as sitting and facing away from us was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him.
Survival instincts of a fart. Oh my gosh, don't help it.
So there's this TikToker I really like, and I can't remember his name, but he is an African American man, and his whole thing is white women ain't afraid of shit.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And he's just got videos of like people like me running into the street, like picking up a kitten, and he's not wrong.
No, you do. You are often in situations. You know?
You, out of anybody, knows that I have no survival instincts either. I'd be like, "Oh, honey, are you hungry? Do you want a sweater?"
Yeah, meanwhile you're shivering.
But I think he would let me go though. And like, I don't
The rake would chill with me.
honestly, I think he would, but also
If I could
part of
do
it
that.
is I think we don't have survival instincts because we don't have the will to live.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like millennials, we really are just out here on vibes.
Yeah.
We drink the original Four Locos. We don't really need to worry about
You
anything
really did
anymore.
kill the part of your brain that wants to survive.
Oh God, we used to do that competition to drink four locos in a night.
I am not part of this we, but that's
No,
my
I didn't
ladies.
do it either. I had one and I was like, I need to call my dad. Like, someone come get me. I need to be picked up.
I'm gonna be a statistic very soon.
But so, and I'll talk about this woman more later. She was not originally afraid of this creature. And some say that it had almost like a childlike curiosity. So,
Hey,
okay. A couple other things that is consistent in the lore is that it had hollow eyes, weirdly wet hands. Hate that. That's like the main thing that grosses me out and scares me. Why your hands wet? And is known as the rake because it has long claws.
you're kind of just describing me, but go on.
Well, when I saw the long claws, you know who I thought of? The superintendent. Remember during when we'd have snowstorms, we said that he could just push his hands and get the snow out. I can't remember his
Uh,
name.
Wayne, I think.
Yeah. He was very tall and had big hands. Like he could have shoveled.
Yeah, like I didn't know they made suits that big. Kind of, he was big.
Yeah. So the rake has been seen in 4 different continents, but most notably for us, upstate New York.
Yay!
Yeah,
Bigger.
upstate New York has a lot more like interesting background than I thought. Like if I known that was like it was that spooky, I would have done more stuff.
I would have sought it out.
Like
We've been haunted enough here.
I want to find a creature.
We can still go to the White Lady's castle. We could talk about that at the end.
Oh, I actually talked about the Lady's Castle already.
Damn.
Think about it a lot. Some compare the rake to a skinwalker, but like I mentioned earlier, I kind of compare him more to Slenderman. And if you listen to the Slenderman podcast that I now have pushed on you like 16 times, I discuss how Slenderman could be something called a tulpa. So a tulpa, I believe, is Buddhist or Hindu, and it is in like the simplest explanation, a creature that is created by the energy of just believing it's real.
Okay.
So I know in the Slenderman one, I mentioned the supernatural episode where that's like the theme, but it's basically like in a cuter way. You have to believe in Tinkerbell for Tinkerbell to be alive.
Gotcha.
Oh God, is Tinkerbell a telephone? I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Peter Pan probably is because he doesn't
But
show up when you're not a kid, right?
oh no, he shows up to Wendy when she's old.
Oh, okay.
But and I'm not saying Slenderman or the Rake
Yeah.
are real, but like if they were real, they would be real because we believed them to be real.
Wait, it's like Santa Claus. Like you don't hear the bell unless you believe. Santa Claus is a tulpa.
Exactly.
But okay, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I mean, you have to be very creative to make these stories up. So who knows? Maybe someone believed hard enough. So the original story of the Rake begins with a suicide note written in 1964. So, we're starting off real cheery.
Yeah.
There's very little context of who the writer is and to who he's addressed these notes to. We can assume it was his wife and children. In his note, he expresses that no one should feel guilty or be upset by his decision, and that, I quote, I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye.
Okay.
So there's another note that just says, who I believe he's writing to his wife. Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name.
I wouldn't want to read that. That's a bit scary.
Just like, who's he? You're
She must know. They must have, like, pillow talk. Like, this guy, keeps coming to me at the end of the bed. He's talking about you.
It's a sleep paralysis statement.
Weird.
But we do learn from this that the creature is like sentient. He
Okay.
knows he can speak.
Yeah.
And he doesn't necessarily kill immediately, but he seemingly likes to mentally torture his victims. Because like this creature's come by a few times now, it sounds like.
Well, that kind of like checks out. Like, if we believe it, it would feed off of our energy and our fear. So it probably
Yeah.
like toys with us too. Like, that's how it works.
And so the next journal entry is from 1880, and it was translated from Spanish. This one's very brief. The author is terrified, and he basically just says that the creature's eyes are hollow and black, that its hands are wet, and that the author cannot sleep out of fear. It trails off into unreadable text, which you and Natasha can relate to because I can't even read my own handwriting sometimes.
I'll keep
It's
that in
it,
mind next time I get like a picture of your writing. Ooh. It spoke my name.
my signature's gotten the worst because like it's so long now.
Oh yeah.
So I vaguely give the first letter of each name, and that's it.
Your CDC. Shut it down.
Which makes sense with how sick I am all the time.
Yeah.
All
She's taking
comes
all
to
the
sick.
diseases in. She's controlling them from home.
We then go back in time to a mariner's log from 1691. So around the time of the Salem witch trial.
Hmm.
One of the most consistent things about the rake is that he comes to haunt you at night and disrupt your sleep, which to me is just rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have insomnia. I mean, you tried the melatonin I took.
Yeah, that one lasted for a good 24 hours. That one was, I refuse to ever do that again.
Like if you wake me up to haunt me, no thank you.
Yeah.
No. Like I'm just gonna be madder than I am scared.
And that's not really a thing you don't want that kind of vibe as a haunter.
Yeah. So can you
Yeah.
imagine me grabbing one of my porcelain dolls, just eating it? Who do you think you are? Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you something about my dolls later.
Are they
You look
moving?
very concerned.
Yeah. I
Well,
was like thinking about like I saw some dolls at like a consignment store the other day. I was like, should I get it for Cassie? And I was like, no, she's haunted enough. I'm not fostering this behavior.
yeah, so he comes in your sleep and he just like disrupts you, which makes me curious if, as if like you don't wake up, does his powers still work?
Yeah, can he still kill you?
Or does he just keep coming in until you eventually wake up? Like, what if you just keep your eyes closed?
Yeah, just you're not real. I
What if
can't
you're
see you.
wearing a sleeping mask?
Which I do every night, so I'm safe. Mark's safe from the rake
Do you really?
too, because I have really bright lights outside of my window.
That's fair. Now that I have these like blackout curtains by the window, I don't have to worry about
I
it.
also have no curtains, so I have done nothing to ameliorate the problem.
So the mariner's log reads, he came to me in my sleep from the foot of my bed. I felt the sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not come here again at the request of the race. So assumingly these people lived once they left.
Yeah. So like, is he guarding something? Like he wanted them to leave. Like
Does he like play favorites? Maybe he's just like, okay, well, I don't really want to kill you, so like I'm just gonna tell you to leave.
maybe he's
Get
like a
out of
type.
here, go home.
Maybe it's like a poltergeist type of thing where like you're gonna settle on like the burial ground, and I don't want you to do that. You haven't put your bags down yet. Just get back on the ship.
Maybe. It's just very strange because it's like you're warning them to go away, but like maybe because he's been seen on different continents, maybe he's just playing with the spoon,
That's true. That's true.
like a false sense of security.
Hmm.
We finally get to our longest post from the year 2006, which 2006 seems like a lifetime ago.
That's when we met.
Is it? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, middle
My
school.
March Marys.
Oh, full circle. The witness. So this is a witness statement. The witness statement tells the story of how 3 years prior, her husband and daughter were attacked by the Rake. We never get names for any of these people, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. The author goes on to tell the story of one evening that she was awoken to what she thought was her husband going to the bathroom. And she was like trying to steal the blankets while he was gone. But she quickly realized her husband was still in bed next to her.
Who is in my house peeing? Does the rake pee?
Those are the questions I have. And I say those things to my husband, and he's like, why are you the way you are?
I mean, he's a teacher. He should encourage like the curiosity.
Yeah, but not like at 11 p.m. when you're halfway through.
True.
But this is the woman that I was talking about in the beginning with the description that she thought that she was supposed to help it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't go well for her. The rake touches the husband's knee, which I don't know if it's important. I don't know if these other people were touched by the rake. And the rake then goes and runs down the hallway. And of course, the husband and the mother go running after him because there are children down the hallway. They have 2 kids. By the time the husband gets there, the daughter was severely injured and the rake gone.
I am wondering, like, it was described as such like a gangly, like mangled thing. Like, how's it running? Like, is it running like floppy armed out, or is it like Edward Scissorhands?
Generally on all fours.
Ooh, hate that even more.
Yeah. I think you saw the picture. It's one of those like famous creepy pasta, whatever pictures with the glowing red bright eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Tasha, do your dirty work.
Yeah, Natasha, I'll send you a picture of it so you can crop it in there. But the husband tries to take the daughter to the hospital, and as badly injured as the daughter was, she only spoke once more. The quote was, she was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, he is the Rake.
At least he got an introduction. No.
If you had to pick your name, though, I'm not picking the Rake. Like, I'm not a garden utensil.
Also implies that he is canonically an English speaker.
That's a good point. He's seen on 4 continents. Is he like bilingual?
And you mentioned the Spain one, like, what's rake in Spanish? Googling. He's a rastrillo.
That sounds so much less scary.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the accent you used.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a rakish accent, so
We were
yeah.
both in the same Italian class. Mi tu parli e piccolo italiano.
Pom pom.
And I can still say, can I go to the bathroom in Latin?
Yeah, that's one of the few things that I do retain. That no, the bomba spot to spot. Baba Ram.
You know, we're very cheery for what's going to come happen next in this story.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So what happens next is the fate of the husband and daughter. My
Mhm.
husband drove his car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. They did not survive.
Which, like, the rake didn't even kill him. That's just vehicular manslaughter.
Well, maybe the rake like drove them crazy and he did it on purpose. Because we begin with someone committing suicide.
It's true. I mean, like, how corporeal is he? Can he just like drop in, like just phase in every once in a while? He could just be in the back seat.
I don't know. That's a good
Or
point.
does he have to walk there? Like, is he getting there? Like, how'd you get there? You gotta walk. Like,
Does he have like a Honda Civic?
like he has beef on 4 continents. Like, the travel cost must be enormous.
Well, and one theory I saw that I don't really talk about is that there might be more than one rake.
Oh,
There's
a
more than one skinwalker. So maybe there's more than one. I always wonder about these creatures if they were real. Slenderman, skinwalkers, the Rake. What do they do in their spare time? They can't be haunting people 24/7. Like, do they
Like,
read?
yeah, like none of their hauntings are like that highbrow. Like, you don't need to plan that much.
What?
You buy the bus ticket, get there, and then, you know, twiddle your fingers on the people, kill them, and then, I don't know, like play some Parcheesi with the other rakes.
Yeah. Like, do you have a hobby? You play board games? It's so mentally unsustainable to me that these creatures might just mentally shut down when they're not haunting
Yeah,
shit.
power down.
Well, it could be like in Supernatural, there's the nothing where they just literally power down and that's it. It's curtains.
Yeah, they kind of like just kiki with the other ones. Like they're really cool guys when they're not haunting, you know. Like, they bag my groceries. They got a job, a day job.
They'd work at Walmart as a greeter. So, anyway, oddly enough, though, the police were active in this investigation and the news took interest. However, the story was never published and the police just moved on eventually. So now there is a widow and a fatherless child, and they were told to go stay by her family for a while. So they go post up at a hotel. But the widow continues to look for answers, like as one would. She wanted to know what destroyed her family that night. And she finds others in upstate New York, mostly. We got all of them. Including a man who lived just a town over and had a run-in with the Rake.
Where was it?
So it doesn't say specifically where it was, other than upstate New York, and that they had been at Niagara Falls that afternoon.
Mm,
So probably somewhere Buffalo, Rochester area.
gotcha.
And this man had a run-in with the Rake, and after a few years, there was collectively 4 of these people who had all had run-ins with the Rake. And then, as I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, all of their evidence is all of those stories I said before. That's their evidence. The Mariner, suicide note, all of them.
There's limited research. Like they're, you know, like every scene from a horror movie they went on, they're like, they get on the computer and it's like, werewolf, the
Yeah, like
rake.
one Google search.
Yeah,
Yeah,
vampire.
Bella from Twilight. She's like, vampire.
You know what you are. Say it.
This
El
is the skin
rastrillo.
of a killer, Bella.
Yeah.
I love. I, as you all know, I had a vampire phase, but I had a rough Twilight
Yeah,
phase.
we would have never guessed.
This is the skin of a killer, Clayton.
Come on, look at the window. Let me see the glitter.
Changing the topic. The story ends with the widow beginning to record every night when she sleeps, because obviously this creature comes at night when you're sleeping. And for about 3 weeks, she doesn't get anything, which I cannot imagine recording myself sleeping. With
Yeah.
all of my sleep issues, like sleepwalking and talking, and
Yeah, you probably
sometimes
should. Like, what do you gotta say? You should figure that one out. Like, what are you trying to tell yourself?
I think the best is that I sleep like flee. Like I just run
Oh,
places.
yeah, yeah.
It, it is a
That was really
problem.
surprising.
I think the last time I did it was at my bachelorette party, and I was sleeping next to Olivia, and I just apparently sprinted to nowhere. And she
Yeah,
was like, "Well, she'll come back eventually."
God, you had like multiple stories in that house. There was a lot of room to run.
I think I ran up the stairs, which is super good to do.
Yeah, just
But yeah,
poor Olivia waking up to the pitter patter of little feet.
oh, can you imagine with how I walk on my toes too? Like, thank goodness
Yeah,
I didn't fall.
like the mom from Dexter's Laboratory.
I did not realize it was that bad until I asked my cousin Emily, and she was like, "Oh my God, Cassie, no, it's awful. You do it all the time. Like, you just run. I don't know what's happening."
Yeah, I've experienced it, but I just thought you were getting water or something. You just like really had to go to the bathroom.
I, I, I have no idea. I just flee,
Gone.
which might actually work in a Rake situation because, like, maybe I'll fight him.
Yeah, and like who knows like how fast he runs? Like he's on all fours. Like it's not efficient.
And what would he do if I was like sleepwalking and sleep running? If he's like cognitive, if he has sentience, and I'm just screaming words at him while like running around the house,
Yeah,
but he might just leave
that's
because
scary.
it's not worth the struggle.
Yeah, like the kidnappers before, like just the rake's just gonna leave. It's not worth it.
Like, I'll go to the neighbors.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in the story, about 3 weeks in, she does hear the rape. She hears a shrill voice that she doesn't recognize, but in her heart and soul just knows it was the rape. Which means, again, he doesn't kill everybody he follows right away.
Just that one little girl. She had mad beef, I guess.
Yeah, no, she was the one that went down
Fuck
fast.
her.
There is no happy ending. There's no like satisfying wrap up. One of the last things the story says is simply, I have not seen the rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring. And that's it.
Poor gal. I mean, she hasn't said shit yet since, so I guess she either died or nothing of note.
I mean, hopefully the son's in therapy at least.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But that is the end of my creepypasta, The Rake.
All right. I didn't tune in next week for his cousin, the hoe. Also comes at night. Um,
Okay, so I'm excited for this because even though I'm the one that picked it, I hate it.
oh, thanks. Thanks for giving that one to me.
I just hate that picture.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Natasha, do your uh do your dirty work. Put the picture here. All right, so to set the mood, it's the Soviet Union. It's right after World War II, so they have a lot of prisoners of war to experiment on. And during World War II, both the Nazis and the Americans had developed stimulants to help their soldiers fight for longer. The Nazis developed Pervitin, and the Americans invented Benzedrine. Shout out Benz. but
Is that like Adderall? Do you know?
yeah, I think it is that the Fall Out Boy song, Mr. Benzedrine. He just wants to, party.
I never knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I had to
Oh my
Google it.
god. And I
um,
threw a fall themed birthday party.
gotta get the Benzedrine.
I
A
needed
little
one
bit,
at that one.
which that's it's
Oh,
literally
like a
speed.
benzo.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't think it's a benzo because it's speed and benzos are downers, right?
See, we are very, very good children who don't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
drugs, so we don't even know what these are.
Exactly. Exactly. Put a
I did.
filter on to make us look like more law-abiding citizens. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So they had started creating their own version of it because they weren't sharing secrets. It's the Iron Curtain's up and everything, and the Nazis were dead or whatever, kind of. So they were trying to
You say
develop
the
their own.
Nazis are dead, kinda?
Yeah, like there was like Project Paperclip where like the Americans just kind of like imported the Nazi scientists. There was a lot of things are pretty
Grim.
unethical. So they'd been working on a stimulant and they had gone through animal trials pretty well. Now it was time to test on humans. They had a bunch of prisoners to test on them. So five subjects were selected and they were promised if you made it to the end of the 30 days, you were given freedom.
And wasn't that like a lie? That
Well,
they
yeah.
weren't planning on letting them out anywhere?
Well, yeah, they were just probably going to die. So, so they were sealed into a room with cots, running water, food for the full 30 days. Some books. They had like enrichments in their enclosure. Um,
And you say enrichments like it's like a cat toy.
yeah, yeah.
Like I was looking up cat enrichment toys yesterday.
Yeah. But so like, and then there's some pretty thick like porthole windows, like 5-inch thick glass. So it's not great visibility, but they're there. And then video cameras and microphones in there as well as like some sensors and things like that to keep an eye on things. And then the wildest part about this to me so far is that it's administered as a gas. It's not like pills or something you take. It's you just breathe it in.
That's a really good point. I never actually thought about that.
Like,
Like,
how are you giving this to soldiers? Are your soldiers going to be doing whippets basically?
okay, I gotta resonate with that statement for a second. Honestly,
Uh,
I never really thought about like the fact that it was a gas. I also
yeah,
have never done whippets, so
good, good.
that's yeah. Like, are you going to be huffing like a Febreze container on the
Yeah,
front lines?
yeah. So for the first 3 days, it's just kind of normal, like just some dudes on speed in a room, and then after about
Everybody was
4 days,
so clear.
yeah, nothing too crazy of note, but like their conversations tend to list towards like their war trauma and like become a little more bit more disturbing. Like the light fun mood dissipates. And then after 5 days, psychosis starts to set in. And they can't really like differentiate, like researchers can't really differentiate is this the drug or is this sleep deprivation? It's kind of
Right.
unclear. So they start pacing around, talking to themselves, talking to people that aren't in the room. They start talking to the microphone, into the microphone. Basically snitching on the other participants. Like I think they're on to me, and like they became much more paranoid.
Which
Fifth day,
shouldn't they have had a control? Like,
yeah. Again, first it's the gas, then there's no control. I don't know what they were doing in universities. They weren't teaching them the scientific method there. Also it's a creepy pasta. So
yeah, no, it makes sense, but I wonder, like, in the real world, how long it took for scientists to figure out that, hey, if you want to get an answer for a problem, you have to, like, change the one thing, but have the other thing still there. Like, is it the
um
gas? Is it the lack of sleep?
yeah,
Like, you can't have two things going on.
yeah. But in the 1700s when the scientific method was developed, and then they got killed in the French Revolution. But
Okay, so it's all that. Got
yeah, yeah. But okay, so 6 days, that's when it starts to get creepier because one of the participants starts ripping pages out of one of the books provided and mixes it with his own feces and plasters it all over the cameras and the windows. So they can no longer see the subjects at all. They can tell
Why
that they're
does it
all still
always gotta
alive.
be poop? Why
It's
does it
always
always gotta be
always
poop?
gonna be poop. I mean, you use the tools you have.
They have water. Paper
True.
mache, my dude.
They're going a little loopy. They haven't slept in days. But they're able to tell that no one has died though. Like no one's dead. They can still hear, and the oxygen levels are consistent with 5 people still being in there using oxygen. And then nothing of note happens for another few days. On the ninth day, one of the men just starts screaming, 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 and they assume that he broke his voice box because it eventually stops, but they can hear little like squeaky noises. So he's still screaming, just no vocal cords.
I want to take a pause for one moment about that one because,
Okay.
as you know, and Lance knows, when
Mhm.
I am like in a car for too long, I will also just scream.
The hashtag relatable.
I've never like hurt my voice box, but I'll get like claustrophobic,
Mm.
so I'll just like yell. Well, you've seen that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Um,
mean, poor guy. People listen to this
he's
podcast are going to be like, "Is she
yeah,
okay?"
yeah. So pretty much all these guys are going through it. They're hopped up on speed. They're trapped in a room with 4 other Nazis. Like they're just having a bad time. Haven't slept in days. So eventually, the researchers say like, we need to have some visual contact. We need to see what's going on in there. So they over the broadcaster they say like, everyone, we're coming in. Lay down flat on the floor, hands on your head. Don't move. If you all comply, one of you will be set free immediately. and the silence breaks. The only thing that is said is, "We no longer wish to be freed." Spooky. Again, the researchers are still pretty unsure if this like psychosis is from lack of sleep or continuous exposure to this new drug. They open the door, and that lets out all of the gas. And the prisoners immediately start pleading, like, turn it back on, close the door. Like, we need the stimulant. We need it. That's all we want. We don't want freedom. We want the stimulant. They're just pleading with them. And when they walk in there, it's a pretty grisly sight. One man had ripped out, but still left attached, a bunch of his organs, and they were arranged around him while he sat. And all the other ones had ripped off flesh and ate it. Just less important things, just like, chunks of arm and leg and chest. And the food had not been touched. So it was an act of self-consumption, self destruction, which will become a theme throughout the rest of this. Yeah,
But
like they had food and they just wanted to eat themselves.
would that be
And
considered masochism?
I think so. So they were eating themselves. Scary. And they decide to end the experiment. Let's get these guys in the operating room, stitch them up. So they get a bunch of soldiers to bring them out, and the guys hulk out. Um, 5 soldiers are killed or maimed, but eventually they're able to be pinned down and injected with sedatives. But the sedative used was not enough to sedate a person. It was enough to sedate a full-grown bull moose. That's what calmed them down enough to put them into restraints. And 2 of the patients bleed out. They just the activity mixed with all their wounds, they just bleed out and die. Surprisingly, one of those is not the man who removed his intestines. They put him they put him in and like stitch him up. They put everything in, um, and but he eventually does die after like a severe amount of struggle. Like he wakes up during the surgery and pleads for more gas. He's like, I don't like stop operating on me, just give me the gas. That's
Is he
all I
the
want.
one that hits on the nurse?
No, that's the next one. So that's the one
Oh.
who broke his voice box. He's unable to talk, but he's still like ogling the nurse, like, and eventually, the nurse realizes he's trying to talk and say something, so she gives him a pen and a pad of paper, and he just writes, "Keep cutting." So again, he just wants to be destroyed. He doesn't care about himself. He just wants the gas. He wants the gas, which will eventually destroy him. And
That's
the last one
so
again
icky.
just begged for more gas. Eventually, they take him back into the chamber and they're going to lock him in with one of the doctors and one of the orderlies and a soldier to continue the experiment. One of the orderlies steals the soldier's gun, shoots the soldier and the doctor, and then shoots the last participant. Participant does not die. And he asks, "What are you?" And this is as he's like laying with a chest wound, among his other wounds. He says, I have to read this. I have to write this one down because it's a bit of a long. He says, "What are you?" He says, "We are, we are you, the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds at every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread," which makes it seem a little more supernatural. It kind of,
Hmm.
but then the orderly then just shoots him again and he dies. End of story. So I did a little research on it. The first time this ever appears, anything like it appears, is on the Creepypasta wiki. So it is definitely just made up. So it's riddled with a bunch of like spelling and grammatical errors, like possibly somebody who is young and not experienced at writing, or even like not a native English speaker. But it's just like very grammatically incorrect, very much like a My Immortal. Like there's tons of inconsistencies. The patients die and come back to life. Like they just cannot keep their story straight throughout the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
I paraphrased it a lot, but a lot of people like die and then like are then again not dead like shortly after.
Yeah.
And it's not them being reanimated by the gas. It's just poorly written. But it did take like it has its staying power. Like it's not a hard thing to find on the web. Like people do entertain it. And I did more research. There have been actual Russian sleeping experiments. Nothing with stimulant gas. They just kept a guy up for multiple days. Some of them, like one of them was just to see how long a person could stay awake just by self-will, how long it would take to for your body to just force you to go to sleep. Oh yeah, so the last one was they did give this guy stimulants, but it was voluntary, by the way. Um, and this was like in the 90s or like early 2000s, and the guy did stay up for like almost like 8 or 9 days, I think, but they had him hooked up to like a brainwave center and stuff, and apparently the reason he was able to stay up for so long is because his brain would take micro sleeps where like it would just like just shut down for like a second, and like so he didn't even realize he was falling asleep for like a second. It was so quick, but that's how his brain was able to cope.
Wasn't there a famous scientist that did that too?
Yeah, it might have been the same one. But and there is like a thing that can cause like insomnia like that, but that is a genetic disorder, so you're born with it, and it doesn't cause you to eat yourself.
Fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. There's nothing that we know of that would ever cause you to eat yourself. Also, like no one can take their organs out and still live. So
we together have stayed awake for I think our I think we did 72 hours almost in
yeah,
college.
I did
And
72 hours in college.
at no time did we have the desire to like chomp on ourselves or each other.
Yeah, yeah, no. Thankfully, I'm glad we didn't. There was no auto consumption. I didn't have consumption. Uh
That's tuberculosis, actually.
yeah. By the way, I did get sick. No. But yeah, so that's where my story ends. Also, I guess kind of a happy note in that it's not real, but
Yeah.
also an unhappy note because like, ah, there's no mystery in the world.
So I want to give a big thank you to Clayton for helping me out this week. And I don't know what we're doing next week. Natasha usually tells me.
All right.
So,
Here we go. Thank you for having me.
well, hopefully you'll come back again. And
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things that we're supposed to say. And
All
stay strange.
right.
Bye.
See you. Bye.